waiting for whether this is going to crash, like yesterday. No, I think we're good. Let's start with a small prayer. This is a translation of an Arabic prayer into English. I didn't translate it. The translation was there, part of it in the YouTube video. It goes like this. As it is an Arabic prayer, it starts with "Oh Allah." So I'm going to actually, give it a general sense. Oh God. Oh God, place light in my heart, and place light in my hearing, and place light in my seeing, and place light beneath me, and place light above me, and light on me, light on my left, light on my right, and place light behind me, and make the light greater for me. That's a good prayer. Um, it is, when you are feeling in a little tough, you say that prayer, so that uh, things becomes more clearer for you from the toughest part of life. Um, that's a prayer. Uh, this poem, weaving a broken heart. I'm directly coming in. I'm not skipping aside like yesterday, 100,000 chaos and everything. I have about 30, hmm, 33 people, watching me. That is a fantastic thing. On a Sunday at about 11:13 a.m. That's where we are, where the time is, morning. I took a break from, I was sitting here and people saw me sitting here and sleeping. Last night I sat here and slept, and then I sat on the chair. I was like sitting like this and run, just sleep. From the side when you see my big head, it's much more bigger than it is, and so I still have the puffy eyes and things like that. I'm not fully. I mean, my leg is really, you know, I think it expanded. Then I came in the morning and I finishing all my morning prayers and other things. I came here and I sat here and slept again, for a couple more hours. Uh, and then I woke up and I'm hungry, so I went and cooked, and the cooking really sucked. I mean, it was I should not have done that. 1 pound of beef, the beef, I kind of put something in the beef that went really too much. I mean, I put too much of this pasta sauce. I thought it's, my mistake was, okay, I thought it's tomato sauce. I took the pasta sauce, put all those things in it. But it is all tomato, but I'm the only one who is eating, so there no race. Then I realized that I put too much of it. I don't know how to compensate that, so I kind of left things there. I added some more spice into it, and it became, on one side it's spicy, then there is this tomato paste taste. So it became confusing for me to even eat it. I was like, should I eat it? I still have things coming out of my mouth, from what remains of it. So that's why it took this much time. Otherwise, I thought of doing the show earlier. I was watching this. Rachel, that's her name. She's a far better show host than me. She knows it better. She says she learned it from me, but that's an honor. When she says that, and I think I'm better looking than Rachel today because. I'm going to make fun of her. Everybody's on YouTube going to hear the description of you. I mean, here is a lady with very little hair. I mean, her hairlines have gone down. She's in her mid 30s, and looking like about 5 years older than me. and and then she added makeup to on it. I said, like, why are you doing this? I mean, only like 450, 60 people were there at that time. And she's there, she will come and kill me, in person. But, I was like, okay, I look better, well, there are certain things which is I don't have. I don't want to go into deep of in the depth of this. So, that's not the thing. What is this poem about? Let's come to the poem. Leaving all that, there are confusing factors. Yesterday, I released, I think yesterday I released one poem. Day before yesterday, there were two posts. One was a poem, another was about this whole normalcy thing. So there are three videos. Many people took sweet time to actually watch it. And the gamers, actually went there and commented on it. And I think it is from here, some gamers, but it is gamers, who was actually leaving comments on my YouTube channel. I don't have much of a subscribers that are like, I think 15 or 16. I don't know. So said all that. I am more into writing stuff, which I actually let me before we get into all the poem and thing. It is not a small poem. This is a much more longer poem, and the light is kind of. I think I'm sitting in a dark spot. Okay, you are darker. You're getting darker. I was like wondering what is that. Okay, I was actually sitting like this. I mean, actually fall asleep during a live show. That happened long time back. When I was in. On Block TV, I once just fell asleep. I was not here. That was when I was in St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis. There I was doing a live show and I fell asleep. So uh, the thing is, what was I saying? When we get into when we need to come to the poem is much more longer. I mean, it is a long poem. Why I wrote the poem is where we need to actually get to. Okay, some people are leaving me messages now. Where is this? Okay. Don't leave messages like that. I mean, that thing actually, they have a Facebook setup, that actually popped up, and if you do personal message like that, it's not Rachel, it's somebody else. From there though, so don't leave messages, like that. It is going to come and make noises. I cannot mute that. If I mute that, then the most valuable messages won't even show up. So please understand, do not leave messages like that. Uh, that is something else. That is real Facebook. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. One of my friend who was actually doing, who undergone, he was working in a jail, so he needed to go through with the people tested positive for the coronavirus. He tested and he's corona free. He don't have coronavirus. So that's why he just messaged me, on Facebook. So yeah, that was very good. I know that person personally, Mike Clark. I'm, see, I know what is going to that I will answer because okay, this is the best part of doing your own show. Shut up, guys. uh, so, uh, okay, I lost all trains of thought before I was talking. I would like to go back and check. There should be something like that. You can check your own show, go back and see the live. So, what I was trying to say is, okay, there was this situation that happened. This is a poem I wrote, I think the day after the the block happened on Instagram. I think I mentioned about this. I don't want to go through that all over again. Why? What was the situation where I got blocked? Anyway, I got blocked by Little Boss on Instagram, and the next thing that I know that I'm writing this poem. That's all I can say. I kind of lost my ability to really think and understand. What really happened. and it all happened. I'm not objecting to that. Let things that happen be happening, and it is still happening. So that's when I was like I said, it was in the middle of Ramadan, and I was fasting. And when things like this happens during Ramadan, I couldn't really have the time to sit and think. So the next morning, early morning, that's when I was thinking, and I wrote the poem. So now let me go through this, and see, Mike is actually sending me a message. That is Mike. What is he saying? No, that's not Mike. He took a Okay, yeah. The poem was written, in a way. This is a longer poem, so I'm going to take my sweet time to explain what exactly was it. Uh, it took a little while to get the idea of this poem right, because when even though the idea came to me, okay, is that this is the broken heart need to be. How do we patch a broken heart? So I actually say it in that way. I usually say these patches need to be made. How are we going to do that? It's not like you can just go and patch a broken heart like you patch up a yeah, blown up tire. It doesn't work like that. So where do you come in? That's very good interpretation of this poem was written on that side, and I truly appreciate that person who did that. I don't want to name that person because she is underage. So that it's a very unique name. That's why. That's also the reason. But it was a fantastic interpretation. Yes, that's true. Um, I'm not going to read that. I'm going to read my own thing. Instead of taking somebody else's words. It took a while. So that's the reason why it took some time, for me to say it and think. When I got that senses all perfectly fitting in, to actually think and write this. When I was thinking, I was like, uh, the reason why about 4 or 5 hours were spent on going through, backtracking events that already happened. Backtracking events that already happened. The thing is, only things that happen can be backtracked. But when you go through that, it is not a very, very, very good idea. I mean, when you do that, because the timeline need to fit in correctly, because you have the things that hit you really bright up, then the rest of the things are murky. That is the problem. So then you have to go through the murky things to actually get, to connect the links between these brightening things. I think you understand what I mean. So that's basically what this poem is coming to. I wrote that first part of the poem initial part of that poem. I immediately wrote that. Then this gap, the gap happened. That means, okay, there is a significant amount of information. It's in my head. It doesn't come out. So it's that was the situation. Um I even went to the website. Usually I don't visit those kind of places during the Ramadan or any auspicious situations. I don't really go there, because there's a lot of chaos there. So because that flight is already breaking apart. So all those things that were going on. So there were things that need to be understood. So that's what I was trying to say. uh, Subsequent days actually made things much more clearer. So if this poem was written like maybe 5 days later, I would have written the poem in a matter of 10 to 15 minutes, the whole thing, maybe even more, because things were not clear. So I was going through that process. So then the poem went back. So that's why I say then I wrote the first part, then I wrote the end of it. Then I know there is a significant amount of gap there. I have more things to write. So how do I get to it? In between all this, there is that emotional part, where you expect something, and then you got the counter effect of it. Everything was, everything was back to front. Then you thought this is like in January. The example I can easily make you understand how what I felt. You will understand it better even I say this, and even though I don't want to repeat that one situation again and again. Once more, in January, when the new year really started, when that happened, we all were in a kind of a massive celebration. I mean, that is not even a simple celebration. The celebrations were incredible. Um, Christmas, after Christmas, I Christmas was pretty much alone. Then the next 3 days, I was out there with totally different people. One group and then another group and another group and hunting group, and all the different kinds of groups. And it came down to that day. I think I left a video on New Year Eve before I went out. I called my mother and said, "Okay, Happy New Year." She called me because it was New Year earlier there. So I called her and said, and she called me. Right before I left. She called me and said, "Happy New Year." So it was an incredible situation. This party, ended up in a much more chaos situation than I expected, because there was fight, and two girls started fighting because one girl bit me. So this whole and here's the thing: both of these girls don't know me. The girl who bit me was badly drunk, and I was like, "What the heck is going on?" And this other girl who took that as an opportunity started hitting her and all the other things. So we guys were trying to hold on to these girls, and I was like, I was holding. Then I was actually pulling this girl who bit me out of there, uh, and the the bar, the bouncer there, he came, and he security gave, "Take your girlfriend." I said, "This is not my girlfriend. I don't know this girl." She's like, "You don't know me?" And I was like, if you guys have issues, you need to take it outside, So that's the situation I'm facing. I was like, "Ooh." I took my hands off. I was like, I don't want that there. And I was like, "Dude, this girl is drunk. I'm not drunk. The problem is that." So eventually we ended up that. So imagine the confusing. But I like those kind of chaos situation where a lot of partiers, a lot of people getting drunk. I don't drink, but everything falling apart, and then you stack it all together up, then go back home. So that is what the situation was. Then we were having football parties, a lot of football going on, football playoffs. We went to see the playoffs. Me, my friend Kim again came to Milwaukee, and we both went to the football game in Green Bay. Uh, my expectation was, okay, by the end of January, usually the markets and everything is going to open up. All my, there were some tough situations I was facing. Those situations are going to turn around. And when I was expecting that, one day, and I got that bad news that this is not turning around. It's not the coronavirus. My mother passed away. So instead of doing anything else, in a matter of hours, I am all prepared, and I'm going directly to India via Abu Dhabi, and I go down into Abu Dhabi. That's when I understood the seriousness of this coronavirus. When I go down there, about 80% of the people inside the airport are wearing masks. I was like, "Oh boy." And they have announcements coming in. If you're feeling sick, please let us know. We'll take care of you, because they need to quarantine people. Uh, and even when I landed in India, the people who are sitting there, they are all wearing masks. I was like, "Man, this is much more serious than we thought." And even when I was there in all sadness in India, I was still checking, what is this virus situation, going through my phone. And then I understood, okay, yeah, we are in a serious situation. This is all going to become, yeah, bad. And many people in India told me, "Why don't you stay here for maybe a month, because 40 days of mourning is there. And why don't you stay here?" I said, "I can stay, but I know if I stayed for 40 days, I will not make it to United States." So it's not that, there is no virus there. There is, even today, even this day, the viruses in my state is much less. But the travel, everything got blocked out. So yeah, uh, it is a complete upside down turn. This is, how do you feel when that happens? You expect a certain number of events to happen, one after another after another, it need to come in like that. And when one, you are there, You put yourself there, all prepared, all set, and the next part did not happen. Something negative happens, and it takes you completely upside down. That's what happened at that time. I was not facing, the world was not facing virus, you know. Then the pandemic happened. I came back here, then the pandemic happened. Everything got locked down. So all the expectations were there about all the things that are happening again, the expectations and hopes and everything. Then I don't know what I was really thinking when I went and commented on a post on Instagram and I got blocked there. So when that happened, it's the same feeling I had. But the thing was, as I have already gone through an incredibly traumatic situation prior to that, in about, 2-3 months back, I was not, shocked and shook bad. I was like, okay, whatever happens, let it happen. So that's the way I dealt with it. So that's how you deal with things, instead of going upside down. You don't need to let the world and events and everything go up upside down. You stand straight. You stand absolutely adamantly, thoroughly on your 2 feet. As long as you can do that, nothing else matters. Hey, I said the name of the Metallica song. My man, eventually I gotta say this. Yeah. So that's where this poem, the situation where this ideas started developing was that that morning when I was facing this is like I may have to go back to that January 25th. January 25th, something happened. I mean, when I got the call that my mother passed away, so I called my brother in Kansas and said, okay, we both have to go immediately. Let's go. Don't think about anything. Let's go. That was the thought. And he said, yeah, let's go. And he was arranging tickets. I came here. I thought, okay, I will also look for tickets. So I came to here, and I sat here and I started going through pictures. Some of the pictures I had, when I went the last time and everything. I took the picture, and that's the time when I really, really hit it. Till that time, how are the logistics? You are immediately not going to. It's not sinking in. That, and the thing was, I'm taking the phone to actually call my mother. Then I understood. Oh my goodness! And I initially I smiled like this. Then I broke down. I mean, it must happen. So there, I know this is a heartbreak I will take to my grave. I may live for another 50 years or 100 years. I don't know. I will carry that break of heart all the way there, because at that time I was like, there, we didn't part on in a situation where, yeah, we are both happy about each other. That didn't happen. I mean, that I wanted to make her more happier. So that was the thing. So I couldn't do it. I mean, there were situations didn't really add up to things. It just didn't happen. The same thing. When I actually came the next day morning here after the block happened, and I was sitting here, and I was like, I'm pretty much in that same seat, same situation. Not the same situation. Nobody died, but there is a break of heart at that time. So that's when I thought, okay, how do I patch this? Where do I get a patch to actually patch this? That's where the idea started triggering. Even though when that happens, you don't really sit and write poetry. When something like this, when somebody whom you like a lot, does things like this to you, like block you out, don't want to talk to you, walk away from you, then you will feel this, then you may write poetry. That's what this poem is about. Basically, what this poem is, I think, and you need to go through the whole thing. When the starting of the poem itself will tell you. I may have to set this up. I don't think I set up the this thing very well. Let me go through this. Then I'll come back to it. And yeah, I know, I didn't really set it up right. Okay, weaving a broken heart. So I think I might have to look here. Everything is upside down on the screen now because it's mirrored. Weaving a broken heart. with dried out barks, trees like in meditation stood, for the winds to come to make them chant and dance. Countless leaves waiting in silence to be tickled, and the sky without the cloak of clouds bare naked spread. Smileless, lonely faces through the still scenery mood. They are an anomaly to the organized world. But among trees and nature, a touch of warmth welcomed, like the hands of a mother held those lost souls close. Those minds in love touched and when rejected, like those in meditation stood, and then wandered. Countless dreams, like the leaves of fall, fell. The elements of time may heal a sleeping tree. Every part of the body united in pain and eager to be healed. Oh, the wound in the unknown, they know not where the soul is. Those rejected lovers always carry an unhealable wound. The ones who rejected know not the value of truth. The world know in experience, but know to say in words. True love cannot be replaced in with any other's love. For okay, I think I think I missed some part of it. Okay, every part of the body united in pain and eager to be healed. Oh, the wound in the unknown, they know not where the soul is. Those rejected lovers always carry an unhealable wound. The ones who rejected know not the value of truth. The world know in experience, but not to say in words. True love cannot be replaced with any other's love. For the truth of love comes in the faith of the soul, and love is part of faith, humanity through senses feel. Happiness then is a blonde bubble in the sea of sadness, where forever those lovers weave patches for a broken heart. You see, I always, I made a mistake. That mistake is very, 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 very. I should not. Yesterday, I didn't make the mistake, so it was perfect. The reading was perfect. I made the mistake of leaving that chat thing on the side, uh, and I can see the Rachel coming back and saying, "Who the fuck?" So only, come here. You are much older than me now. Okay. So that's why I was like, "Ooh, did I miss something here?" So yeah. Sorry. I mean, I didn't really mean to offend you, but I know we always call each other oldies and goldies and other things. So that's a poem. The hair show is for Rachel, the beautiful Rachel, who looked, like somebody who woke up from a really bad, hangover. So yeah, that is the poem. I mean, when you actually, like I said, sometimes, uh, sometimes I think I missed one part of it. The minds in love touched and went. No, I didn't miss anything. I thought I did, maybe. And another thing is, okay, I said this is a longer poem. It is not, because initially I thought of reading another poem, and that was a longer poem, and that is a very long poem. So this one was not that. So that's why I thought this is a longer poem. See, this is the thing. When I write a poem, I finish that, and when I push this thing on out of me, that means when I put all these, taking all these, say for example, right now I'm working on a poem. This is like about one, two, three, four, fifth page. I'm on the fifth page, and I think it's only for 5 pages. It's going to come into the computer. Once it is in the computer, then I actually go through my own one short edit process where it becomes versified. So that's why I call myself the Lord Versifier. So the versification process is over. Then I put it out there. Once it goes off me, then I pretty much leave the whole thing. Then it need to come back. When I in about 5 days, 6 days, I go back and I read this poem, and if I'm not getting the exact thing, back, there are times when I remove that poem out. So nowadays I don't need to, but because I know where I can go bad, and so I take care of things. But sometimes I may have to remove the poem. I long time back, not very long. I mean, it's about 2000 when I came here. 2010, 2011 time. When I came back to Milwaukee, I used to do that a lot. Because when I finish the poem and I go, then I paid more attention. Than and one of my friend, Laura actually told me, you need to pay more attention to your writing when you are writing it, because you are not paying attention there. I mean, even though she was not a big poetry addict fan or anything like that, she was a very good friend. She was. I mean, she left. She left internet. I haven't seen her in a while. She moved to Peoria, Illinois, and she stopped coming to my shows and any other things. So Laura actually she told me that so you need to pay more attention. So from then onwards, when I actually put these things, taking and making these quartets and other things from one pages, there was a time when I actually wrote a poem where there like 6 pages. It took 6 pages for me to write one quartet because the idea was not really coming out. So I was writing and writing and writing, and then I made one quartet, and then I made things like that. And it took like about 4 months to write a one incredible poem of about 68 lines or something like that. Yeah, 62 or 60. I don't remember it, but yeah, it is somewhere in the 60s. So then, oh, after like 2 weeks, when I read the poem like this, I mean, the show, I was reading the poem and I couldn't get any of this, any idea what this poem means. Then I removed the poem. That's when she told me, so you should pay more attention to what you're doing. Before even coming in here. Nowadays, I don't even come here and say things. I'm actually back on YouTube, not on the chat. Man. Rachel, you can call me names later, but you know that guy don't really stop. He stopped because I don't know why I turned on the heater. I'm supposed to turn on the air conditioner. See, that's a condition. So there are times when I actually do things completely wrong. A little absent-minded. So I'm supposed to turn on the AC. I turn on my heater because that is an air conditioner. It's a portable air conditioner connected to my window, and there is a thing that is sitting there. There's a small guy, this small. But that is something that impressed me a lot. That heater, it is a workhorse heater, and it heats up this area, and I can even open the other area, which is this is my attic, let me explain to you what this attic is. This area is where there is this den, and on the other side there is a partially finished bedroom on the other side, and it is pretty that entire area is that bedroom, and maybe you can make a toilet, and then nothing is finished there. My two bedrooms are downstairs, and my living area, everything is downstairs. I don't really spend a lot of time in bedrooms, so I don't really care about whether the bedrooms are small, or even if it is just the bed size thing. I don't have any problem with that, because when I wake up in the morning, I just go and I will live in sitting in front of a TV or whatever it is. I just do that. And let me check this. Okay. Oh yeah, I think Joe was taking questions. Okay. Where is the other hat? Okay, that is the question that is there. Here. This is the other hat. This is, I just wanted to try a different hat. This is, the oversupply. What do you call it? When the brewers towards the end of their season, they have more things sitting there in their this thing. So they are selling it all out. I think I paid like $2 for this. Like I said, I'm always honest. What, you want to see the backside of this? I don't know what you want to see. Okay, well, no, there is nothing behind. That thing, that is a fireplace. It's not a real fireplace. It is an electric one. My friend was trying to throw it away. So we tried whether it works, because he don't want it anymore, because he is moving from his house to North Carolina. He don't want to carry this all the way. So he's like, I may throw this away. I was like, is it a working one? So it is working. So I said, okay, it is a heater too. But the heater elements and all is broken. So it heats, but not fully. So, but it kind of shows up like a fireplace. So I kept it there. This entire winter I didn't really use it at all. So eventually I might throw it away soon, because I'm going to change this whole setup. That wall, above the futon, the wall I'm going to fill in with the bookshelves. So the wall is going to be filled with books, and then that area also the futon will be pulled a little here to towards me, and then those areas. So this entire walls will be converted to bookshelves and fill it with books. So that's a plan, but it's me who should be doing it. Yeah, I'm the one who should be doing this, so when I actually try to do things, yeah, it can become pretty bad. So what else we have? This is not a gun showing show. No, I can show the guns are here. I can show the gun, but I don't know whether that is part of the. Ow. One gun is sitting there. I know. This is a good one. I hope I don't shoot myself on the foot or something like that taking this out, because this is a better gun. Let me, before we do anything, let me first to make sure, yeah, it is loaded. Okay, yeah, this is what I think you guys were talking about. I hope this is not going to create any problem there for any people there. I know some people are very, very, unhappy about even seeing a gun, but this is a Smith and Wesson, you know, 357 Magnum. This is a 627 PC. It is, I would definitely call it a hand cannon. I think I have a video of it, in my on my YouTube. You can go there and watch it. This is, if you can quickly count, eight round, 357 Magnum. So this is a gun I carry. I carry this gun. So somebody who's trying to tackle me in the middle of the street or something like that, people all around me know that on my body this is there. It is there on my body, and there is a backup gun. I carry two guns. So um, when I carry this, and I know many people actually told me, buddy, carrying a 357 Magnum is not the prettiest of the thing to do. The reason is, okay, when you take this, and when I don't want to point it to this thing. When you actually, it's a very smooth gun. I mean, when you fire with this gun, so the main problem is the sound. This thing is a ear deafening sound. So I took this gun to the woods, and I did a complete training with it. And initially, I put a headphone, headset, and ear this thing, and fired. Then I removed that, and I put ear muffs. I understood this is too noisy, so I put the ear plugs in, and I removed the plugs, kept it there, sealed it pretty much, then slowly trained my ear in such a way that I can handle that noise, and if in case I needed to take my gun and shoot somebody down. So yeah, I never thought that it is loaded, but it is fully loaded with already the 357 Magnum itself. See. These rounds are really good. I mean, this is high performance. This thing. Um, Trust me, you don't want to be in the path of this. And I'm not bragging. I'm pretty good with this, because I trained myself like about 6 months with different guns, before I even decided, that this is a gun I need. And because I know I'm going to get the gun, I got the gun, for that is, I always, even in the previous video, sorry, that is a whole long story. But I got the gun. So once I had the gun in my hand, then I wanted to go and shoot, and there was a problem. I will show you where it's not loaded. So look at the handle. This handle, is very good because I can go with 3 fingers. But the original, stock that comes with it, it only have like, there is no third, only two. So it goes like this. So then I have to come like this. So the problem is, see, if you don't have the bottom part, my middle finger is hitting on that trigger guard. So it gives you pain, and even 357 Magnum gives you a sting. But this is a PC, so it the PCs are much better made. Still, you get the recoil. The Magnum short recoil is there. I like the recoil. Even a 44 Magnum. The next one I'm going to buy is that will be the one I buy. Okay, I haven't bought a gun so far. I'm going to leave it here. I don't want to drop that. So I need to load it and keep it back. I have another gun, another revolver, which is a six shot. That is a cheaper one. So this one is an expensive one. That is a cheaper one. That also I got it. No, I didn't buy it. So that those are the guns I have. Then I have the rifles. Which I don't think it is a good idea to even show, because then I have to go backwards. Because the rifle is pretty long. It is a Remington, the hunting rifles. And I have a Remington and then a Marlin. That's a 22 LR. So those are the guns. So what else we have? See, I'm not going to sit here and answer all the questions like Rachel did, So, this is Sunday, we have time, but even for me, there are times when I need to really go and sleep. So, we are at 40 minutes, I thought we actually blocked out 1 hour, so we still have 20 minutes time. So, that's a good question. I think I have the cue cards here. Yes, you are right. You are right. Love letter. This is. I don't know where you're going with this. Let me take a sip of my tea. Because it's already there, exactly those words. So why you want me to repeat it? If you have already seen that, because you have already seen it. Now you are asking me to repeat that thing once more, because you have a question that that I was reading out from looking into it. I know that poem, or at least the last part of the poem, very well. I'm going to give you the idea why I do know it. Those 4 lines was the first part I have written. How did I write that? Paint the sky with stars. I think, yeah, there you go. Enya. Enya's album came out called Paint the Sky with Stars. So I bought that because I'm a big fan of Enya, and her songs, beautiful, choir-like environment. You have that a good sanctified feeling when you listen to her music. Fantastic musician and amazing personality. So I was, it was in 1999, I think. I bought the CD, and at that time people used to buy CDs. I bought the CD, and I was actually listening to her, listening to this. One night, I was sitting there. At that time, I used to work in a store, in Capitol Court Mall, near Milwaukee. The mall doesn't exist anymore. But in that Capitol Court Mall, I came home, late, because we were having, replenishment going on. So we finished all that and came back late, and I was just listening to this thing, and I took this CD, Paint the Sky with Stars, and I was trying to chat with somebody called Neha. Yeah, Neha. Neha was the girlfriend of one of my very close friend. I was actually chatting with her on ICQ. There was this chat thing called ICQ. I was chatting with her, and I was like, I'm listening to this Paint the Sky with Stars. I typed that, then I took that and I wrote that down. For whatever reason, I just wrote it down. And she went to bed, and she was complaining about her boyfriend to me, and I trying to wanted me to go and tell him how to live his life. And you expect him to follow me. Oh yeah. That was our expectation, but that didn't happen. So I wrote that, that Paint the Sky with Stars. Then I wrote, I will arise from the sky all stars, filling mind with words, words that paints your face and brightens each and every corner of this universe. That's what I wrote. Then I was like, oh, those are good words. So what did I do? I sent, and I don't really send text messages. At that time, there was no text messages. I think I didn't even have a mobile phone. So I sent an instant message to Katya. That's the name of the girl. Okay, that's the name I was looking for. Katya. Katya was a girl in a country called Georgia. I mean, it's a country called Georgia. It's not a state. Uh, Katya is a girl from there. She was back in that place, but the same way, Yahoo Messenger or something. Yeah, Yahoo Messenger. I had all the messengers on my. She was in. I think I forgot the name of the place. There was a very near to the capital of that place. There is a Sakastili or something like that. That's the name of the place, and she was there. So she was actually trying to ask me something, and I immediately said this. And she was like, "Oh, you are hitting me on the face with this or what?" And I was like, you like that? And I was like, that is one of the four lines. She's like, she's the one who said, any girl who hears this will actually fall head over heels for you. So I was like, you really? Yeah, that's my pickup lines then. So that's why I remember those last four lines of that poem, Love Letter. I don't remember the rest of the poem much, but those four lines, I don't think I can forget because then I was going through a very rough situation at that time too. So like I said, then I was working in a no excuses store. There was no excuses there, so then I quit the job, that job, and that's the only job I had. Then everything was flattened out. Then yeah, I came back. So I needed to leave Milwaukee. So that was one of the bad things that happened. It was sad too. I don't really at that time I really didn't want to leave Milwaukee, but I just did. So saying all this, I am, man, time don't move. So I think we may have to wrap it here, and that's the poem and the aftermath of the poem. So yeah, if you are asking, what really happened, that comes in. I see the scrolling much. What I told, go back to the videos, and these videos are posted there on the site too, so you can watch through it. Then it will give you an idea about how I write it, how I get some event, and then blow up that event into a poem. So that you will get an idea about that in your head. When you go through these videos, that helps you develop you into a better writer. That happens if one person get benefited. I know a lot of people got benefited there. Even though a lot of people on my even on my Facebook, they are not that appreciative. They don't even leave a comment. Many people who leaves comments on my Facebook page, I know they are commenting on the picture of the girl. The rest of the people who really read the poem, they don't even leave a comment. They don't even say, yeah, it's a good poem or something like that. Pradeep, Indian man, he's a poet. He actually appreciates my poetry. He left comments. He used to leave comments. I haven't seen him writing anything on my site anymore. Um, but I don't really look at all that. Probably this is not the generation going to understand this whole thing, and down the road, some people may come up with some sort of inspiring options. Because first, let me go back a little. In 1999, I was working in Indianapolis. In Indianapolis, when I was working there, once I was writing there, and this lonelypod.com site, many people who work with me were really surprised that I can develop websites, because I used to be a mainframe programmer. These are two different things. So I was actually, then some people comes back and write emails and other things. At that time, I can only be contacted by email. You cannot leave a comment on that. I was not that good in knowing that you can leave a comment. That technology was not available there, the net. Because even WordPress or other things was not available. The WordPress came up when in 2002 2003 time. It was just HTML and forms. I had a form there where if you have a comment, you need to, if you want to give me a feedback, you have to write that there. It is pretty similar to the WordPress, right now. WordPress was, not even existing, but it is pretty similar to the same format. So you write your comment there, you write your, and it come like an email. It come as an email to me. So one day I was sitting at work, I was looking through these emails, and I was like, oh man, I'm getting like uh, about 6, 7, messages coming to me. And my friend Randy is sitting behind me. His name is Randy Ellis. Um, Randy actually told me, you're getting feedback for your poems. That was very nice. And I was like, yeah, man. And he's like, okay, now I need to read the poems. But it's not him who ended up liking the poem. His girlfriend, Jennifer. They married later, the Jennifer Ellis. She became Jennifer Ellis. She actually, that was a bizarre thing too, because she was already reading these poems. And the moment he actually told her, I was actually, writing this. I have a friend, who's a coworker who writes poetry. Why don't you read these poems? And she was like, I already read that. And he was like, really? You are reading my buddy's body. He's like, I was not knowing that's your buddy. So then I met her. We actually went for dinner together. We are good friends. So what I'm saying is, one of the comment I still remember, one of the feedback I got, it was from a man, and he is I think Bangladeshi. I think, yeah, Bangladeshi. He said he was given a piece of poem by a woman. He was working in New Jersey or something like that, and she gave it to him, and he was impressed. And that's when he understood, okay, because he was a little shy guy who don't really ask girls out. He's from Bangladesh. Many people coming from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, in those areas, they don't really go out and ask, women out. They are not like me. I was like out there, oh yeah, your girl looks at me, I'm like, okay, let's go. So that was my attitude then, so he's like, then I understood she's interested in me because she's an American and she's interested in him. So they actually started going out, and it sounds very good. She's very interested, and it was his thankfulness. He actually wrote to me. That impressed me a lot, because that was like one of the first time when somebody actually said, okay, my things I wrote changed their life. You understand. I think, yeah, Joe, I think I shown you that email once. I think it is there in my archives. I may have to dig it up and bring it down. That was a fantastic message that came up. And it was I told Randy, this is a deeply touching message, that somebody got, it was like a big message, where he described how how they are actually communicating, and how they are, their interactions, and it was much more details, so Randy Randy at that time said that was a little too much of detail he put in there. And in these days we will say too TMI, too much of information. So the thing is, it is not just that was a first. Many times, even on Facebook, and when I was in Zanga.com, and I had a lonelypoet.com was in a forum format, for a long time. Even there, people used to come and leave comments and things like that, saying that how the poem really, really impacted their lives. So it may not be hundreds of thousands of people for every poem, but it still is. Even once in a nowadays, I don't know how many people are. I don't do. Many people don't even leave comments, like I said. They don't have time to do that. In those days, when internet was, used in peace of mind. When there was no Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. When it was used as internet, where you read and see it and read and react. So in those days, people used to write these things, and nowadays it had reduced considerably because there are too many tools. That's the only reason I see it. So that's the thing. even many people who are, I use Instagram these days. I take one of my pictures and put it there, and some of my poems also, I actually copy the link to it, even though there is no link available there. But they know that this is where my poem is there in lonelypoet.com. For my main profile, they can actually go to lonelypoet.com and read the poem. So when I do that, even in Instagram, many people actually get confused. How do you use the Instagram? And that was one of the questions. Day before yesterday, I ignored that question completely because that was not the topic I was talking about. Now we are in that topic. Let me tell you how did I do that. Instagram works. How I use Instagram is in a completely different way. I use it from Facebook. I make the post in Facebook, and when I use that, then what I do is, okay, from there I do a boost. I only spend like $1 to boost, and I can select a demographical area, or a geographical, I should say, a geographical area. Demographical area is there, and a geographical area, or a demographic within a geography. That's what I take. So people who are interested in reading poetry, writing, any kind of artwork, things like that. So I picked up those audience. Then it should be, Facebook requires you to stay in a green, because it should not go too much or too bad. So they have a meter thing there, so it should stay in a green. So you make sure you select the right group of people, and the right area. You can select the entire United States, but it will cost you a lot of money to promote the entire United States, because the market competition is that much, because it's like an automatic auction thing that goes on. I understand that very well. So if I select, say, the entire country of India, that is a lot of people. So it will cost you a lot of money. So you need to target your audience. That's when you bring in the demographics of it. You take the geography, and then you take the demographics. See who all should be getting this. People who are interested in poetry, people who are into. I don't want to send my poem to, or this poem to show up in front of a guy who have no interest in reading a poem. So what is the point? He's not going to read this, or she, in that matter. So then when I actually boost it, I actually say run it on Instagram. So it will run on Instagram, alone, or Instagram and Facebook. I can choose that. When you say automatic placement, there is a button there. You turn it on. Then you can see, where do I, instead of the automatic, you can place it. You can avoid Facebook altogether, so that it will only go into Instagram. So if you want to promote your things on Instagram, that's, you need to create a page and make a page post, and from boost that post into Instagram, so that it will go into Instagram and shows up there. So you need to, prior to doing that, you need to do is, I forgot to say that. Prior to doing that, what you need to do is, you have to link your Instagram account to your Facebook page account. So that's when. So now when I make a Facebook, post, I can actually send it to Instagram too, or the other way. When I make an Instagram post, that I can actually select, that I can send it to my Facebook page. So some of them will show up there. I don't always do that, but I make a separate post on on my page. But of course, Instagram can be done like that. So, but there are limitations when you actually, if you are posting poetry. Say, for example, this group of people, they are, poets and writers. There are limitations to Instagram posts. You cannot put a link in there, or you cannot put a the post cannot be too long. If it is too long, nobody's going to sit and read what is underneath the picture, and there should be a picture associated with it. So video or picture or something like that should be there. So it is going to become, it is a very small tool, but it's not for poets and other people. But if you are like an artist, you draw things, you weave things, or you make some craft work, things like that. Promoting that, this is a way to easily do that, so that you can use two tools at the same time. You can use Facebook and Instagram together. They both owned by the same company. So I don't do a lot of promotion these days, but some promotions are there. I specifically target areas. I specifically target people who are interested in poetry, and specific subjects. Say like some of the people who came there were interested in photography, because the photographs associated with my poems are professionally taken. So I didn't take it. It is from Unsplash. They give it for free. So pretty much that's what I can respond now. I am reaching the 1 hour mark here, of live show. So thank you very much for everybody who shows up there in the other side, and pretty much I think there is. I don't know what is going on YouTube. I'm very happy all the people who showed up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry once more. I apologize for the stumbling of the in during the poem, because Rachel kind of crash landed into it. Crashed my poetry show. Anyways, thanks for the compliments and appreciation. I'm going to wrap this here. I hope you all have a fantastic whatever remains of the Sunday, and everybody go enjoy the next week. Enjoy it well. Have a great time. I love you all. And to specifically to say this, I started with a prayer. What I'm saying is, let me see that once more. Okay. Oh God, place light in my heart, and place light in my hearing, and place light in my seeing, and place light beneath me, and place light above me, and place light on me. Place the light on my right, place the light on my left, place light behind me, and make the light greater for me. That's where I end. May God smile upon you all always.